So, welcome to another episode of A Conversation in the Lighthouse. For you who are watching this, it is actually freezing cold and we pretend that it's warm, but whatever. That's how we roll. Ricardo says he looks better in a pullover. We won't also show you where we're standing because it's incredibly risky, but let's start this super relaxed conversation in the Lighthouse, part of our series. First and foremost, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It's so nice that you're starting off the season for us here in Copenhagen with your beautiful show. And first thing that I really wanted to ask you is remembering the past shows and remembering also the show that you have in Basel, and also knowing your identity as an artist in perspective with colors. So often your work is based on black and white. I mean, also you are dressed mostly when I see you in black and white, so that's kind of like your signature color setup. The exhibition here in Copenhagen is everything but not black and white.
No.
What was the motivation to bring in so many colors for this show?
Well, I think this time is also because it's influenced by the fact that we are doing the show in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
But also I did have maybe the necessity to bring all this tropical thinking into the show, and like probably more more
More movement, more happening by creating these kind of color fields.
Yes, much more like make it like a bigger statement.
Yeah.
With the color, because I think it's important to for me. It's like kind of a very uplifting way to work. It's just to be working with all these colors, and then this time is a very, very bold and very bright. It's even brighter than before.
Yeah, but I also think that we saw it yesterday, when we were at the first day of install. I mean, now we are filming this in the middle of the day where we actually have something called daylight. But it is really very, very dark. And it was interesting yesterday in the late afternoon when you walked into the gallery, you have this super, super bright entrance where Ricardo actually painted the whole entrance. It's like a site-specific piece. It's like a statement also before you enter the show. And then you come into the actual exhibition space where you have all these different works coming together and being, as we said before, super colorful.
Yeah.
What motivated you to work with this entrance area in the way that you did it with doing this wall painting?
Well, I wanted to use the yellow, which is one of the colors that always repeat into the work, and I wanted to add a yellow which is a brighter, so it has a bit of combination of neon color into the normal yellow, and to make it stripes, because the stripes against the white will be like it will create some kind of a visual,
It has a flickering
vibrant
effect. Yeah.
It's a vibrant effect, so it will be like a very overwhelming welcoming into the hallway. And I think because you mentioned the hallway was like kind of an important point, and I think it is an important space because the one you enter, and it also because the gallery has this very domestic scale. The hallway becomes like it's a very, very beautiful, very intimate space, and also a lot of people like to stay there and have a conversation in that little space.
It kind of also dictates where you want to go.
Yeah.
You can go to the office, to the showroom, to the gallery, and as you just said, with the domestic space, this space so much also feels like an apartment.
Yes.
So a corridor also becomes a completely different function. A gallery normally you might have an entrance situation, but it's already has a gallery aura with a front desk and all these things. But this space doesn't have it.
Doesn't have it. No.
So I think it's quite beautiful how you worked with it, but also that you left the furniture that is there. You left the sideboard. You did not change the identity of the room as such. But it's really very powerful when you come into the gallery to see this.
Yeah, no, I felt very happy when I saw it yesterday because it does work very well, and it creates a dynamic when you enter the space and then you finally enter into the gallery and you encounter all these bold works. I think it makes it's just help each other. The entrance and the inside gallery is just and the other way around. When you just leave in the gallery and then just go through the entrance, it just make
you digest it in like different steps. You're not just like and now you're out. I think that's very beautiful. looking at the works that you prepared and selected for this exhibition, and also imagine someone that now sees one of these pieces on an image, visits our website and sees, for example, this green piece. Of course, you know, the aura of experiencing such a piece, when you stand in the gallery and you work with the proportion, you feel the material, and you see how the color really functions, you know, in real life when you're really standing there. Of course, I think it's important to also give a bit of an explanation. What was the motivation about these kind of very, very also minimal and very elegant objects, one could even say? I don't really see them as paintings. I see them more as objects. What is what's the inspiration?
I think it's more like a sculptural painting.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a kind of a three-dimensional, and it does. It is important when you walk around them. So it's like if you see an image of it, it wouldn't be the same. Never will be the same, because these works is like you need to walk.
Mm-hmm.
Around, you know,
you need to be able to experience it in a space.
Yeah, it changes, and
Mm-hmm.
it's because the work is it has a lot of them has a bigger volume than you know I imagine in the beginning, and I increase the volumes, so it's like it comes out of
Mm-hmm.
the wall quite far, and it does change, and it's important to see them in the side. Even myself looking in the gallery right now, I just realizing how much they change
Mm-hmm.
when you walk by or you see them in the side.
So technically speaking, you're saying that you can't look at them at image. You have to come to the gallery to see the show live.
Yes, of course.
In an ideal world, fly to Copenhagen. Last but not least, because I'm very intrigued about it, and it also creates a certain connection, you know, to this beautiful floor piece that we showed by you in Basel in the exhibition that we did there in 2017. The bricks. It's something that you've worked with in different pieces, in different installations mostly. Now, for the first time, the bricks become part of these wall sculptures.
Yes.
First and foremost, it's a rather unusual format for a brick. Maybe if you could say something about the history of the brick, but then also about the decision why you wanted to put the bricks, as on the wall, knits into one of these wall objects, or let's say it in a wider range like a painting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's easy for me to explain, because it's like probably in few words it wouldn't be easy for me to explain the whole thing, but I think it has something to do with experiences in the past.
Mm-hmm.
and also having this history about using the bricks in the last few years in the work also kind of help out, but it's like a lot of things coming all together in once.
But
and
where do they come from, to start with that? Where are the bricks from?
At the beginning, the bricks start to appear in my work when I started living in Sao Paulo.
Yeah. So that's also because of what I'm so intrigued about it is the shape of it. If you tell me to buy a brick here, they are these kind of like Lego stones.
It's completely different. That's
the shape that they are, then that you experienced them when you worked for it.
Yeah,
with it the first time.
Yeah, the first ones I started working with is in Sao Paulo, and you have the concrete ones, and then you have the red ones, which is the ceramic red brick,
Mm-hmm.
which is the most. For me, it was a very intrigue to use it in that time, because it's something like even the color for me is a kind of a strange color to use, but they have the shape they have. The ones in Brazil are different to the ones are in Spain, for example, the ones that we're using here in the show.
But they're much flatter. They have a completely different proportion.
Yeah, it's a completely different proportion, but the ones I'm using here is because they are thin, so
Mm-hmm.
they can be inserted somehow
Mm-hmm.
in the work,
Mm-hmm.
and using them as a flat surface also,
Mm-hmm.
they can be part of it. But this is something I sketched long ago, or quite a while ago, about using. I did have the intention to incorporate the bricks into the painting,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have the opportunity to do so. So this is the first
Mm-hmm.
time I just really go and put them in the painting and put in part of the work. Sometimes inserted, just screw them in, and sometimes just completely incorporated into the work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the painting brick is a very interesting thing, because I remember when I was, I mean, this is probably not. I mean, it's just a little idea of this obsession about painting a brick. I think it might come from when I was a child. I remember the little favelas in Caracas. They were painted by the government in some point to make them look better.
Yeah.
And
to change their identity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very odd and a very sort of a terrible idea. I mean, it's a horrible thing.
It didn't really solve the problem.
No, it's just you don't resolve. But this is something that it kind of informed, how things work in Latin America in a way. It's like a lot of makeup thing to just resolve something, but it doesn't do much good. It's just a little makeup. But this is something that I just thought previously to the show, that it was quite interesting to think about.
A reference from the past,
but
I think it's beautiful, and I was super happy. I mean, seeing the body of work, seeing where you want to go with this exhibition, seeing how you it also feels a little bit, when you are standing in the show, in the gallery space as such, it feels like all the works could also be like, it could be like one installation. It's like one real setup for the space. And there's also pieces that are in dialogue with the architecture. There are elements that you see in architecture that are being used in the paintings. There is site-specific, interactions like the wall painting in the entrance. So there's so many aspects that really create a dialogue with its quite unique space, I would say, as we said before, more like an apartment style. So no, I'm very, very happy, and thank you so much for this beautiful show.
Thank you for the opportunity.
So if you have a chance to come and see the exhibition, we would love to welcome you here in Copenhagen. If you're brave enough, we even give you a key to come up here to the Lighthouse. It is a rather special staircase situation, but you have a fantastic view over this beautiful Carlsberg area. And hope to see you at von Bartha. Thank you.